Gershenson,
Here.
Cavell, Taylor,
Here.
Spiz,
Present.
Powell,
Here.
Gingell, Luz.
Here.
You have quorum?
Thank you. Please join me in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome a student here to observe our committee. So welcome, Felicity.
Thank you.
Hello. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Felicity. I'm here.
They just want to know about
Hi everyone. I'm Felicity. I'm here because I'm taking a civics class. I'm homeschooled, so I'm taking a civics class right now that is requiring me to go to some public meetings. So I watched yesterday live stream the board meeting. Today I'm here.
You gotta get
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Which,
you.
I'm sorry, which community? Where do you live?
I live
City.
in
West
West
Bloomfield.
Bloomfield.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have approval of the minutes dated December 12, 2024 on our agenda next. I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, support from Commissioner Spiz.
Sure, I wasn't here, but
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our minutes are approved. Next up is approving the agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Powell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have arrived at our first public comment for the public to talk about items on the agenda. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this committee? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Our, just as an FYI, our new rules indicate that we are able to have one public comment per committee meeting or remain with our two. So I would like you to think about that to see if we want to change to one public comment or remain as it is. Next up is communications. There are 4 items under communications. The intake and disposition report for November 2024 from our animal shelter. A grant amendment to the Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Planning Program. A grant application to the Southeast Michigan Perinatal Quality Improvement Coalition for advancing healthy births. And the last item is a grant amendment number 7 to the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy QPRC Methods of Oakland County Beaches Program. Would you like to make a motion to approve or do you?
I have a question on one of them, so
Sure.
go ahead. Is Leanna on? Yeah, I just wondered about this beach cleanup one. How many beaches is it affecting?
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. This is an extension of our existing grant. And so what they're doing is just allowing us to continue the work through December. That there's a new request that's coming in the recommendations, right? That's the one that I'm about to present to. That is our QPCR, which is our same day testing. And so we do 12 beaches with the QPCR.
Okay,
So I know it's a very small amount.
This is just an extension, and then you're.
Correct. That's the request for communications is, yes.
Okay, so then I'll wait for the next one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve communications? I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor, support from Commissioner Spiz. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Communications are approved. We move to our Sheriff's Office recommendations. There is one item. It's a grant application to Enbridge for the 2025 Safe Community First Responder Program. I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, support from Commissioner Spiz. So welcome to our one item.
Thank you.
Hey,
Good morning
morning.
and
Good
happy New
morning.
Year to the committee. I'm Gaya Peer, the Sheriff Fiscal Officer. I have Major Chris Wondrak and Lieutenant Brian Burwell with me for this item. This is just a grant application It's the 2025 Safe Community First Responder Program through the Enbridge Corporation. They have, we're applying for, so it's the Enbridge Fueling Futures that supports local safety initiatives and programs to make communities safer. Obviously, that's what our goal is for the search and rescue team. We're asking for $169,950. And Lieutenant Burwell can give you details about the equipment, but it has a couple of trucks and trailers and bed caps and recovery booms, and obviously he can give you more detail on that if you have questions.
Thank you.
And the gist of the equipment, if I just add, it's, if we have a boat disaster on a lake, this equipment is a containment, what do you call them, booms?
Containment
Booms to, keep the gas and oils contained so they don't spread throughout the water and contaminate our Great Lakes.
It's something I don't usually think about, so thank you. Commissioner Gershenson?
So I think this is great, and I hope that you do get the grant. I just want to go on the record as saying I do have issues with the company Enbridge and us continuing our relationship with them. So we'll see how things play out with the Attorney General with Enbridge, but I'm glad that they're offering services to the local law enforcement. And I do support this, but I'm just issuing, I do have concerns with this company, and we'll be kind of watching this in the future.
Absolutely.
And if we are awarded, obviously we'll be back to ask for your acceptance, so.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, would you prompt the vote, please?
You have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you for your support and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Our next item is a Health and Human Service recommendation. It's the grant application to the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy Water Resources Division for the Rapid Methods and Microbial Source Tracking for Beaches program. Who'd like to make a motion? A motion by Commissioner Gershenson and support from Commissioner Powell. And we are back to Leanne Stafford.
Happy New Year again. So this request is our application for our qPCR testing through our lab. And so this is, if you remember, it's the specialized testing. So we go out and we test approximately 100 beaches a year using our traditional method. That usually takes at least a day for us to get results. And the qPCR is actually a new method of testing. We've been doing it probably close to 10 years now, that is trying to create a new methodology for testing beaches. And so we work with Eagle, and the goal is to really change how we test and report beaches in the future. So the grant that we have that's in front of you is we do 12 additional beaches for qPCR. So we test them the regular methodology, right, the traditional, and then the state gives us this money for qPCR to test them 4 times a week, 10 weeks. And again, this is a testing methodology that gives us same day results. And currently we use it as an advisory. So if we go out and test a beach, especially if it's been a problem beach, we can use this qPCR to issue an advisory until we get the traditional testing. Unfortunately, right now, we can't use this qPCR to actually close a beach because it's not the standard that's accepted. So again, working with DEQ or MDR or MDE, there we go, they changed their name, them to try to change the standard so that moving forward, we can use this qPCR to maybe close beaches in the future. So that's what we are requesting to accept. And as I said, we currently test about 100 beaches a year with the traditional method.
Thank you. Commissioner Gershenson?
So for clarification, this makes you testing 112?
Nope, actually, that's the 12 that are tested here. I think I said additionally, I'm sorry. They are also included in the traditional
100.
method.
Okay, so they're
We
included in
tested
100.
100.
And
Correct.
approximately how many beaches do we have?
We have about approximately 200 public beaches in Oakland County.
And these 100 that you're testing are public or private?
They are public and private. So we do a rotation, right, of public and private beaches.
And that's about a 5-year rotation?
It's about a 5-year rotation.
Right.
Yes.
So a couple years ago, I developed a partnership with Mishkor, who had a group of volunteers who went out and tested. I'd like to start that up again. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know a lot about them, so I would love to have a conversation about their testing methods, right? Ensuring that if we're using a testing method, it's equal to what we're doing, right? Especially if we're looking to close beaches. So could we have a conversation offline and definitely talk about their-
I'd love to make an introduction, have a meeting, so, because they did work for us a few years ago, I think pre-COVID. And we're able to cover a lot more beaches, so I'll deal with that with you later. Thank you.
Commissioner Spiz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. How you doing, Leanne? Happy New Year. It's been a while since I've been on this committee, so you might have to educate me over the first couple months and bring you back up to speed, but what's the difference between the qPCR test and the standard test?
Ooh, okay, now you're making me go way back in my 25 years here. So it's because I started as an intern, so I did beach sampling 25 years ago. So it's the lab method that they use. One is like a plating, old style traditional, and qPCR uses a machine that rapidly produces the results. Again, I would probably need to bring someone on here that's a little bit more in the lab scenario to provide you with specifics. But it takes, when you use the method of plating, right, it takes some time for it to sit in machines to see the bacteria grow, where this is just a quick analysis. Again, it's not accepted by the state, though. We're trying to create these new standards, which is why we can't actually close a beach with this qPCR.
And
I will get you a better explanation. That's the overhead kind of explanation, but I'll get you a little bit more information and get that over to you via email.
thank you, I appreciate that. Gives me a little bit to be dangerous with.
Yeah.
So if I understood you correctly, we want to go from the current method or the standard method, which is the plating, to using a piece of equipment for this qPCR, and this is more of a trial or an evaluation period to try to get the data to support making that shift? Is that what the intent of this is?
That's correct, yeah. So this is actually, we're providing data to EPA. And we're one of only 2 or 3 counties that are still actually working through to try to give them the data that they need to try to make the change in the law.
Thank you. And one final question. What drove picking these 12?
Oh, that is a great question. I want to say, but I'm going to ask is, I think that these are beaches that we've struggled with over the years, right, to keep open. And so it's like a dual test, but let me verify that and I will get that back to you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Powell?
Is there somewhere on our website, Leanne, that tells us the breakdown of the beaches and their locations and stuff like that? And what's
the
public
beaches-
and what's private? Yeah, you said we had 200. I'm shocked. I didn't know we had that many.
We do have a beach website.
Okay.
I know we update it annually because beaches will close like for good or not. Maybe they change from a public beach to maybe they're not big enough. So I will send all of this information and a link to the beaches because I know they update it each year. I don't know if it's quite updated for this year yet.
Okay.
And so I'll get you that link.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Would you prompt the vote, please?
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't like water like that.
Our next item is from the animal shelter. It is a donation acceptance from Ramona Carroll Nave. Who would like to make a motion? I have a motion by Commissioner Spiz, support from Commissioner Powell. Welcome, Mr. Gatt.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you? Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to be here this morning with the special request that we be allowed to accept a very generous gift from a very kind animal lover, a Pontiac, Michigan resident who just recently passed away. Ramona Nave loved animals. She used to visit the shelter on a regular basis, and she would always ask for me, and no matter what I was doing, I would drop in and come up front and talk to her. An older lady, and she really just wanted to talk about the animals, and she was just a pleasure to talk to. I was surprised to learn that since she started coming in 2016, she always had a check with her, and it always stunned me as though it was $500 or $1,000. I mean, a lot of people come to the shelter and they leave 5s and 10s and even 20s. But this person always had 500, 100, 1,000. And over the years, she donated $23,000 plus until her death last October. When she died, her will said that she wanted to leave 10% of her assets to the shelter. And that came to $81,804 her gift today. So in her death, she's leaving us a large amount of money that we will put into the legacy fund if you approve. And we use those monies to help animals that we can't help with our normal budget. You know, we get lots of animals that either are hit by a car or they have injuries or sicknesses that we are not able to deal with at the shelter. We have the best doctors in the world that work there, but they're mostly focused on spaying and neutering. And one of our doctors, Dr. Fortner, he's an expert in eye removals and amputations, but not so much on the orthopedic side. So we use these monies to send animals out that need our help that our normal budget wouldn't be able to handle. So we would put this money, if you approve, into that legacy account, and I'm here seeking your permission to proceed.
Thank you. Any questions? It's a wonderful gift. Commissioner Spiz?
I don't necessarily have questions. It amazes me the generosity of people out there that they come and donate this type of money to help animals, help people, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always great to see these type of things. Maybe something we can talk about offline or in the future is, you know, when we get sizable donations like this, do we do anything special in the name of that individual?
We will,
Like a wall of fame or wall plaque, whatever you would call it. or
if you
another
came
term.
into our shelter, you'll see our wall of honors. And right now, we have 2 plaques that we have erected. One young lady left us $1 million, if you remember, several years ago. And another gentleman just last summer left us 100,000. So anybody that leaves us 50,000 or more, and that was just an arbitrary figure that we came up with, we're having a plaque made that will be on the wall for forevermore. And Commissioner, if I might, absolutely, you're absolutely right. The generosity of people when it comes to animals is just, it's mind-blowing. People will come in and they just love their animals. Our shelter is a place of great joy and great sadness. I mean, I see it almost every day when people come in to surrender their animal because it's dying or it needs to be put to sleep. And it makes you want to cry, to be quite honest with you, because they're turning in a family member. So the monetary generosity is there. Mrs. Nave was just the epitome of that. I didn't know she had as much money as she obviously had in the end, but to come on a regular routine basis and give us hundreds and hundreds of dollars is just, well, it's phenomenal. And we're gonna miss her, not just for the money, I'm gonna miss her company. I didn't know she passed until around the holidays. I noticed that she hadn't come in for a little bit, and when we looked into it, I was very sad, so anyway.
Commissioner Powell?
So I don't know if my relative still works in our under you over there, but he's braved and gave me good reviews of you as a leader and just working in that in the our adoption center and everything. He loves it. So thank you for your expertise over there.
Well, no, listen, thank you for everybody on the commission for your support over the years. You know, Commissioner Gershenson was one of the people, we had a third party come in several years ago, Dr. Pisano. She opened the doors to so many great things, and we implemented everything that she suggested that was possible. And I believe, and I'm prejudiced, but I believe we have the best shelter in the state and one of the best in the country. We do great work. Commissioner Spitz was asking this morning about no kill. And as you all know, no kill is it's a political term more than anything. It's a term somebody made up about 20 years ago that said if you save 90% of the animals in your shelter or more, you can deem yourself no kill. Well, we publish our numbers every month. We're very proud of our numbers. In some months, we are no kill, and other months we're not. We are an open admission shelter. And a lot of these no-kill shelters are private. And a private shelter means, no, we're not taking that breed today, or no, we don't, that dog looks sick, you need to go. So we take every animal that comes in our service area, 44 CBTs, and even the 11 that we have contracts with, we board for them. And that means we don't have a choice. And sometimes we get animals that are too vicious for the public, they have to be put to sleep. Or sometimes they stay so long that they get a disease, it's called cage craze, where they become mean and they become unadoptable. We devote our time, every staff member, and thanks to you, we have an adequate number of staff members. Every animal lover there gives him or herself 100% of their being all the time. They come to work, and I'm not young, I've been around the block, I've been in a lot of different places. I've never seen a more committed workforce than works at that animal shelter. I don't think they would admit it, but I think they'd work for free. I really do. They just love the animals, and
I got that quote.
now they are in union, so maybe they won't work for free. I think you know what I mean. They give of themselves 1,000% all the time.
Thank you. Commissioner Cavell?
You mentioned just now that you contract with 11 communities. Can you maybe just after this meeting share what some of those contracts look like? Because I don't think.
Well, they're all the same. They're MOUs actually that our corp council puts together. In fact, we'll probably be coming to you this year because they're 5-year contracts and they expire October 1 of this year. These are communities in Oakland County that have their own animal control services. And instead of using our services, they provide their residents with their own service, but they use us in an emergency or for overcrowding, things like that.
And they pay us for that.
They only pay us if we board an animal using the figures that you've allowed. We charge them a per diem up until the time the animal is no longer a stray. Once it becomes our property, the charges stop, and then they become Oakland County's property.
How long do you have offhand what the per diem is and how long?
I think it's $26.50 a day.
And that's from a 5 years ago contract?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe it's 3 years. It's a
Okay.
3-year contract, but it expires October 1 of this year.
Commissioner Gershenson?
I just want to remind the commissioners and let the ones that are new on the board that we did have a lot of public comment about issues with the animal shelter. And so with the passage of this board, with the support of this board, we were able to hire an expert, a national, international expert who came in and worked at the shelter for a while.
But she was present for a week.
Oh, a
This was during COVID, but she was working several weeks before and certainly several weeks after.
And some of the changes are really remarkable, and kudos to you and your team. And also I'd encourage anybody to go over there. It's a great place and, gives you a better feeling for exactly what we're doing. I also, pardon me?
If you go, you might walk out with an animal.
It's true.
We'll try our best.
I know you will.
You know, I mentioned the devastation yesterday in Los Angeles, and the animals are a big part of that. And there are a lot of animal organizations stepping in, because there are a lot of animals that were just left and were
And
straying.
wildlife too issues, like wildlife. I seen
Wildlife.
something
A lot
about
of
the
wildlife.
wildlife, yeah.
Right, and I just feel yesterday I didn't adequately describe the devastation there, and that, cause you keep hearing all about the celebrities. But it is way beyond celebrities, it's actually neighborhoods, you know, the neighborhoods in Royal Oak where you live, where there's streets and houses are next door to each other and it's a real neighborhood, are gone, are completely flattened, so it's pretty shocking. But another part of that is the
It's the
animals.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of devastation that we see on television. It's so sad.
I know, including North Carolina. Okay, anything else?
North
The
Carolina?
floods.
Look, gosh, why does all this devastation keep happening?
Yeah.
All right, would you prompt the vote,
Natural
please?
disasters. It's liberals, right? Okay, thanks, Mike, yeah,
Sure.
it's definitely not climate change.
Like the insurance part is was crazy.
Yeah.
How
6
they to
yeas, 0
rebuild?
nays.
Motion carries, thank you.
Well, shit, you know, Florida, they have to have their own public insurance company.
We've arrived at our second public comment. This is for anyone from the public wishing to address this committee. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the committee? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned at 11:01. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.